Hello and welcome to Blue Garden Cottage. Lovely to have you along with us as usual, and it's a beautiful autumn afternoon. Not much sunshine, but at least it's not raining for now. Everything is changing, and yet there is still lots going on, lots growing, flowering and fruiting. And I'm just going to show you a few of the things that I have been doing around the garden at the beginning of October. I love that even in October there are still flowers in the garden. Even the courgette flowers, and even so, we've had plenty of flowers. We've not yet had one single courgette fruit. Still harvesting baby beetroot. And carrots. Forgotten. Isn't that lovely? Even blackberries still smooth and shiny and yummy. Looking forward to harvesting the mushroom and the ochre, as well as the yacon. Just over there. A surprise butternut squash on a plant that I planted very late, but look at it, still looking good. Should be some beans there to save for next year. And look, fungi, meaning that beneath that soil is a lovely network of mycelium, thanking me for gardening the way I do. Still parsley to harvest too. October apple blossom hanging on, fruitlets formed, but I doubt very much they're going to do anything through the winter. Even the catnip is holding on. Chilean guavas looking promising. Even a rosebud or two still giving flowers. Still comfy to harvest for free plant food for the next season. Just a couple more raspberries hanging on for dear life. Still loads of spinach too. And this kale I've been harvesting on for a year already. And every time it sets new plants on the stems, this one I will just cut off there and keep these going till they do the same thing and treat it like a perennial. But autumn is definitely here. There's no denying that. And it's the wintering part of autumn. That lovely crossover. The great leaves going to become a chop and drop around the aronia berries, just to cover the soil, and soon I'll have a lot more stuff to chop and drop and cover the soil. And in the meantime, lots of lamb's lettuce, chicory and nigella, all self-seeded and sprouting. They'll cover the ground nicely as well for winter. Look at that, snapdragons and sweet peas still flowering, and I've just left that sweet pea to ramble where it wants without support. The Acer has survived the transplant, and there's still a bit there, a bit more sheltered now by the bushes around, so hopefully it'll survive this winter. The tube I had in the back garden that had potatoes in has been moved to the front garden, so I can put other plants in there next year, hopefully more edibles. I love this little corner with the hosta and the fern and all the strawberries and the hellebore. The hellebore are looking much happier and healthier now that we've got that fence up, and it's being sheltered much better from the top by the wisteria, so it's a proper little woodland corner. And in the spring there should be some wild garlic coming up in that corner, given to me by my friend Chris. Thank you, Chris. So I still want to get some Solomon seal and more hostas in this corner, and this will be my lovely woodland corner. So I can't wait for that. Oh, and can you see, I just spotted a bug, a lovely little black bug. Good guy. Where's he gone? They're so good at hiding, and it just shows that even at this time of the year, this soil underneath all this ground cover is full of life. I even still have some more fennel flowers that I can be nibbling on and harvesting for tea soon. I love that. This sage really happy there where we've put it, and it'll stay green all winter. The fuchsia finally flowered this year. It really struggled to come back, but I think the fence has made the difference. Just look at that. Beautiful. And would you believe a strawberry in October? I am not so sure as to flavour in there, but it's still growing and ripening. How can we not be pleased with that? The hydrangea will soon be finished flowering for a while, but there are still lots of new ones coming up. The rhubarb done its thing now, so that'll have to be tidied up and covered with straw for the winter. Not too much because I don't want to force it, so I'm just going to protect it around the outside. The crown I can leave out. The valerian herb over there, that's also going over now. That red hot poker is gonna have to move. It's a slug hide, and I'm contemplating getting rid of the honeyberries because we have yet to have any harvest off that 3 years later, and I don't like the fruit. The fruit don't seem to be very nice over there, so I don't know what's wrong with it. And as much as I like the honeyberry for the beautiful bright purple stems in the winter, I don't know. We'll see what I'm going to do with that. Still planning. Salad burnet and oregano peeping out the bottom of the fence. Not going to get muddy harvesting those. I'm loving the way this garden is looking this year. It's really starting to grow nicely. It's nowhere near finished, and I doubt it ever will be. As things grow and the trees grow, just like that lilac there, the yellow lilac, and the clematis and the roses, and the purple lilac across there, and I've got an elderberry, black lace elderberry, acer. So as soon as those are growing and developing and changing the shape of the garden, whatever else grows around it will obviously change with it. This is going to be changed for a wooden pergola, and I think the blackberry's coming out. I'm not going to leave the blackberry there. And that has been perennial, that one. Well, they all are perennial really, but that one has the thornless evergreen one, and it's always green. There's always some greenery, and even the greenery over winter can sometimes take on that purpley hue. It still has leaf through the winter, so it's been a good blackberry. But those fruit, as they fall, if I don't get them, have been sprouting all over the garden. Well, there you are. That's what's been going on in little bits and pieces in the garden, on and off, in between the painting of the crafts, just as I can get outside, get some fresh air, stretch my legs a little, and try and get a couple of things done at once. So I hope that sharing that with you, you can see that even at this time of year, well into October now, that there's still plenty that could be done in the garden. There's still lots to, I mean, especially if you're doing a lot of gardening with perennials and things like that. If they're herbaceous, yes, they're going to lose their leaves for the winter, but the garden is still full of life. There is still harvests to be had, even if those harvests are just excuse me, even if those harvests are just emotional, mental and spiritual ones, of just being able to be out in nature, smell the smells of the season, and let it lift your mood. It certainly does for me anyway. It'll be a lot more interesting then. The light's not very good for this now anyway, right now. So there you go. I'm rambling now, aren't I? That's just because I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing. So I suppose I'd just better get on with it and leave you to it, to go and have a look what you could do out in your garden. What have you been doing out in your garden, if you have one? Are you still harvesting? Are you still growing and sowing and planting? I've always said that surely there could be gardening done all the way through the year. The nature of it just changes. So I'll be showing you a bit more of the kinds of things that I do gardening through the seasons that are at least plant related or garden related, just to show you that the nature of gardening might change, but there's no such thing as no season for gardening. There certainly is for Christmas decorations. Right, lovelies, I hope to see you again next time, which will be a craft video. So take care, people. Enjoy whatever the weather throws at you. Get outside, do whatever you can to enjoy nature and the season, and I shall speak to you again next week.